Hello, Tashitalek again. Welcome to Dharma sharing of the GAMPOPA Civil Ornament of Liberation. And we are now trying to study more about those 6 different trainings in the action bodhicitta. And we have so far completed the first paramita, that is the dana paramita, or known as generosity, the perfections of generosity. And now we are on the second paramita, the paramita of moral ethic, or the Shila paramita. Okay, so we'll continue today from where we stop to understand more about this second paramita. Before we do so, we need to recite refuge prayers followed by the generations of bodhicitta, which is always very, very important. We need to refresh our motivation. We need to always renew our bodhicitta for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sangye chedan soge chonam la jangjo bardo dane gyapson che dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola pencher sangye doparesho sangye chedan soge chonam la jangjo bardo dane gyapson che dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola pencher sangye doparesho sangye chedan soge chonam la jangjo bardo dane gyapson che dage jinso gebe sonam ge Dola benje sangye do parai sho semje tamje dewa dan dewe gyu dan den parai gyurje donga dan donga ge gyu dan dawa gyurje donga mebe dewa dan ba dan me dawa gyurje gire ja dan ge dan de tanyum jembo la ne parai gyurje semje tamje dewa dan dewe gyu dan den parai gyurje donga dan donga ge gyu dan dawa gyurje donga mebe dewa dan ba dan me dawa gyurje gire ja dan ge dan de tanyum jembo la ne parai gyurje semje tamje dewa dan dewe gyu dan den parai gyurje donga dan donga ge gyu dan dawa gyurje donga mebe dewa dan ba dan me dawa gyurje gire ja dan ge dan de tanyum jembo la ne parai gyurje balden zawe lama rimboje dagi jewro be me de jola kadin jembe gone je sonde go son to ge ngo do za do so the second paramita, the dana paramita, the moral ethic, practice of moral ethic. And here, in the same manner, GAMPOPA presents this chapter, the second paramita, with 7 different points, just like he presented in the first paramita. The method or the manner of presentations are same topics. The first is reflections on fault and virtues of practicing and not practicing Shila paramita. Second is the definitions of this Shila paramita. Third is the classifications of Shila paramita. And the fourth one is the characteristics of each of these classifications. And the fifth one is how to increase this Shila paramita. The sixth topic is how to make this Shila paramita a perfect paramita, or perfected one. And finally, the result of practicing this paramita. So the presenting manner are same, all these 6 paramitas. Obviously, there are different particular essence, particular definitions, particular classifications, particular characteristic of each of these classifications. These are different, but the manner are same. How to present this are in the same manner. So we are now trying to understand the characteristic of each of these classifications. So generally speaking, when we hear the word moral ethic, it looks like we need to involve in some positive activities, or we also think that we need to be careful from harming others, or to restrain our mind from harming others. That's true. That's very true of the meaning of understanding the Shila Paramita, or practicing morality or moral ethics. And not only that, there are two other moral ethics practices which are known as the moral ethic, or the morality of the accumulations of virtuous dharma, and next one is morality of benefiting sentient beings. So these are also considered as the practice of moral ethic. That is why we came to know there are three different types of moral ethic practices. And among these three, the first one is to do with trying to restrain your mind from harming others. For example, if you think that you are getting angry, and by catching that point, right moment, you that awareness, oh, I'm trying to get angry now, and that is not good. So I must maintain maintain my mind. I must restrain my mind from expressing this anger through my body and speech. As long as you are able to do so, as long as you have not expressed them from your body and mind, you are still safe. The situation is still good. There's not much of harming others. Obviously, there may be disturbance in your mind. Obviously, yes, because anger is something not a pleasant thing. It's a disturbing mind. But then, even so, by holding that anger in the mind without not letting it go through your body and speech is already a very good thing. It's already beneficial. So this is how we practice before we mature of controlling our mind. So first we try to maintain this kind of stability of not expressing this attitude through our body and speech. Then slowly we can work how to transform that anger into kindness and compassion. That is the second thing, that is known as the second type of morality, which is known as the morality of accumulating merits or wisdom, or you can also call it that maturing your mind through the practice of the Dharma. So when you mature your mind, generally our ordinary mind of anger, jealousy, these are, from the dharmic point of view, these are considered as childish mind. Like children, we when someone says one, you say two. You always have something to say in return, kind of counteract. So this is like children when they play, when they play with their friends, they always act. They always have a reaction to another actions. So from dharmic point of view, this kind of attitude, like getting anger or jealousy, pride, and so forth, these are considered as the mind of ordinary or childish mind. So we need to mature our mind from that childish mind. So when we mature our mind, we'll be able to transform that childish mind of anger, aversion, and jealousies to the positiveness of loving kindness, compassion, respect, rejoicement, and so forth. So this is what is advised here, that we need to transform our mind, and that is through the second type of morality here, practicing the Dharma, trying to mature your mind through the practice of the Dharma. That is known as morality of accumulating virtuous Dharma. And finally, the third one is, first you are able to control your mind, not express anger through your body and speech. That is the morality of restraint. Secondly, you are trying to able to convert that non-virtuous mind of anger, for example, into compassion, loving kindness, and compassion. That is the maturing your mind through Dharma practice. And thirdly, for what purpose you are all doing this is to benefit sentient beings. So obviously, when your mind is pure, when your mind is with compassion, loving kindness, and compassion, then obviously your act will be also compassionate act, compassionate speech. So therefore, it is very easy for you after maturing your mind. Then it's always easy for you to control your mind and also see the nature of your mind, and also respect others. Those who are in need of help, you will just not hesitate giving help to them. So this is the third type of moral ethic, morality of benefiting sentient beings. So among these three, we have completed the first one. And today we are going to try to understand the second type of moral ethic, that is known as moral ethic of accumulating virtues. So after perfectly taking the bodhisattva vows of moral ethic, we need to accumulate virtues through our body, speech and mind in order to achieve enlightenment. That's what we need to do after taking bodhisattva vows from our masters, from teachers. Then we should not just remain there by, oh, I have taken bodhisattva vows, now I'm bodhisattva, and not acting anything, not accumulating any merits, not trying to mature your body, speech and mind. Then it will be just empty word of calling yourself a bodhisattva, or I'm the practitioner of Mahayana. So here what GAMPOPA advises us is, after taking bodhisattva vows, we should accumulate merits, or we should accumulate virtues through our body, speech and mind. Therefore we'll be able to mature our mind. So the way how one can achieve this is through different types of trainings, obviously. And what is the purpose of this practice is to attain enlightenment. And for what purpose again? For benefiting sentient beings. So therefore it is always advisable here to practice these trainings. Briefly, they are called the accumulations of virtue. The second type of moral ethic is called accumulations of virtues. And what are they? They are mentioned in the Bodhisattva's Bhumi. There are 14 different trainings or types of or ways of accumulating virtues. Okay, so I'm going to read these 14 different types or means to accumulate virtues that was mentioned in the Bodhisattva Bhumi. And these 14s are to maintain and sustain Bodhisattva's morality. Okay, this will help you to maintain Bodhisattva's morality, or Bodhisattva's way of life, or Bodhisattva's teachings or trainings. First one is joyfully making effort in hearing, contemplating and meditating. So the first one is, obviously, since we do not know how to practice the Dharma, since we do not know how to accumulate merits and wisdom, since we do not know what is the correct path to practice, we do not know what is refuge, what is bodhicitta, what are the 7 different practices or 6 paramita practices. So for this reason, since we do not know all these things, we need to hear these teachings from our teachers, or by reading books or listening to the Dharma. That is one, by hearing, and then contemplating the meaning of this Dharma that you heard, and then meditating upon this, trying to change your body, speech and minds towards Dharma, trying to transform your body, speech and minds from negative to positiveness. So these are considered as one practice. The practice number 1, that is the joyfully making effort in hearing, contemplating and meditating. Here, joyfully, this is very meaningful, again powerful word. Obviously, since we give rise to bodhicitta, since we have taken bodhisattva vows from our masters, and we know the purpose why we're doing this, and we know that we don't want to see sentient beings suffering, therefore you want to liberate them from the suffering of samsara, therefore you want to attain perfect and complete Buddhahood. By that you will be able to help other sentient beings with these different types of qualities, abilities, by attaining the perfect and complete enlightenment. So therefore he should have always a joyfulness with these different types of practice. 3 different stages of practice: hearing, contemplating and meditating. Okay, this is very important, and this is what we are doing now. Is the first one, joyfully making effort to listen, contemplate and meditate the Dharma, the meaning of the Dharma. So therefore we are trying to get time with our busy schedule, daily worldly activities, and we are trying to get some time for this Dharma, So therefore you are here, I'm here, and organizers are trying to make this possible. So this is what we are doing joyfully. So I'm not 100% sure whether you are joyfully listening these teachings or not, but I hope so. I hope this will not bore you. I hope each of you, each day, when you listen to these teachings, maybe you'll be getting some benefits, some kind of good ideas, some kind of inspirations by hearing these beautiful teachings, beautiful words of wisdom by GAMPOPA, and obviously which came from Buddha himself. So therefore there's definitely a good result by sharing this Dharma and by listening this Dharma. So this is what we are trying to do now, and I feel very joyful, and I hope you'll be feeling the same. And this is something that is very meaningful, trying to convey this message, because nowadays people are so much, people pay so much attention and time to the external phenomena, obviously for living. But then it is equally important from my point of view to give time and value towards your internal happiness, internal value as well, because that's who you are. External phenomena are here now, they may not here tomorrow, but your internal is always within yourself. So you know the best of yourself. You know whether you are happy or not. You know whether you are delightful or not. You know whether you are stressed or not. You know whether you are feeling happy deeply with this external phenomena which is supporting your happiness. You know definitely what is right and what is wrong. So you have the choice to make whether you still want to driven away from the object of our 5 organs, sensual organs or sensual objects, or you want to give some value to our internal strength, internal harmony, internal happiness. So that's something that you need to make choice of. So I think these both are equally very important. External things that we usually deal with, sound, smell, taste, texture, form, sound, smell, taste, and texture. These are to support our life, obviously, yes. But then, is there guarantee that this will support your internal happiness? Is there guarantee that they will always keep you happy and always keep you, a joyfulness? Not so sure. So therefore, we have to balance this too. We need to keep some time for our internal happiness. That is why we do yoga. That is why we listen Dharma. That's why we go to pilgrimage. That's why we do some Dharma practices, idam deity practices, in order to bring our internal happiness, our joyfulness. So, on the process of doing so, you need to first hear these teachings, then contemplate, then meditate upon its meanings. Apply them into your day-to-day life. Don't keep Dharma away from you, apart from you. Dharma in your daily life should be inseparable. Dharma is not something, not something different from your daily life. It always teaches you how to think, how to act, how to speak. And this is what we do. From early morning when we wake up until we go to bed, all these activities is what we do is through our 3 doors. The way we speak, the way we act, the way we think. And Dharma teaches you how to think properly, how to speak properly, how to act properly. Transforming your 3 doors towards positiveness for the well-being of yourself and others. Okay, so this is the first one. Then the second one, he says here, is the performing service for and honoring all the teachers. Yes, you practice, listen to the teachings of the Dharma, contemplate its meaning, and practice them. At the same time, when in your post-meditation time, when dealing with different worldly activities or Dharma activities, we always encounter, we always need to associate with Dharma friends. Practicing Dharma doesn't mean that you are all alone by yourself. You are isolated from all this world, unless you go for solitary retreat. Otherwise, you are in this samsara again. So we need to associate with Sangha members. So while do so, we need to honor them. We need to respect them, especially if they are your teacher, or if those are high bodhisattvas with good qualities, like our Rinpoche or different Rinpoches of different lineages. We need to give service to them and honor them. This is also the teachings of the Buddha. And remember, when we first talked about, GAMPOPA was mentioning in the beginning about the attending teacher or attending spiritual master, how one can attend our spiritual masters, our friends, our colleagues, Dharma friends. So we should recall these teachings and remember this, and we act accordingly. Then third type is helping and nursing sick people. Since we are practicing bodhicitta, and since we are following the way of the bodhisattvas, we need to help people. Remember, that's the dana paramita, giving help to others, giving wealth to others, giving fearlessness to others, giving dharma to others. And especially in this case, particular teaching is helping, telling us to help and nurse sick people who are in the pain of physical pain or mental pain. Here, especially, I think physical pain, who are in need of help, you should not hesitate, giving your support. That can be through your wealth, by offering money or making donations to charities, especially charities that are working for the health, giving free health services to needy people who are sick, cancer patients. There are many charities nowadays. So through your wealth, you can also contribute, and through your body also you can go and volunteer whenever possible. And through your mind, you can make aspirations, wish them to recover from their sickness as soon as possible. Making, whenever you're visiting holy sites or temples, or even it is in your room, shrine room, where there's an image of Buddha and you light candle and lamp and incense, and you make good wishes or good aspirations. So these are all something that we should be doing. Why we do this? Because if you do something for others, it will give you lots of happiness. I can tell this. I'm sure you all have that feeling, because you have been practicing Dharma, you have been practicing generosity for many years. All those students in the Dharma Center, they contribute in our Rinpoche's charity activity. I remember this deeply. I'm one of this example, with your donation, with your charity to this organization of Rinpoche, and because of that contributions of your wealth, we have been educated by our monastery. Free education we are provided, still providing. Health, medical care, everything was provided for us. So therefore, this is how you can benefit others, and especially here in this case, sick people. So like our medical clinic at Namo Buddha, so that is providing free health care for the people there who are in need of help. This is what one of the Rinpoche's aim is, to provide free medical help to those needy people over there in the mountain. So this is another way of practicing, trainings in the second type of moral ethic of accumulating virtues. Then the fourth one here is giving properly and proclaiming good qualities of others. So when you make offerings to your teachers or Dharma friends or charity, you make offerings properly, meaning with good motivation. Again, it links with the first paramita, remember? The good, pure motivation, pure giving. So we need to remember, how to make proper giving, and with pure motivation and pure materials, not poison or not something that harms others, And then proclaiming good qualities of the donor, and such, donor offered this,
for the benefit of these beings. We also do the same at the monastery when there's adoptions or retreats, or at that time the discipline in charge will proclaim the qualities of donor who donate, and we also request the Sangha members to pray for them, their good health, good practice of the Dharma, and so forth. And here again, when you, for example, when you're making offering to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and we need to proclaim their qualities so that the other people will understand, will have the opportunity to hear the good qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, or hear the qualities of the generous one who is benefiting so many beings without any expectation. Such individual, like our Rinpoche and all the other Mahayana practitioners who are helping others without any expectation, with pure motivation. So we need to proclaim their qualities. By doing so, by proclaiming their qualities, they will plant a seed to individuals, different people, in their mind. Oh, how wonderful! And they will get chance to make rejoicement in the good deeds of that particular being, and that way, those individuals will have a chance to accumulate merits, as well as it will have it has planted seed in their mind. So in the future, when they have something, they will also act accordingly. They will take this particular bodhisattva or the benefactor as a role model. They will be inspired, by his or her act of bodhicitta. So it's very useful, to proclaim good qualities of others, so that it will kind of have a connection. It will make a good connection of the Dharma with that individual and other beings. This is how we can bring them into the right path of benefiting sentient beings. Then the fifth one here says rejoicing in others' merit and patience. If someone is, accumulating merits by practicing generosity and so forth, so you at this point you don't have enough to give, but then instead of being jealous, I should have done that, or why he's doing this, or instead of being jealous, you should always rejoice. Oh, how nice, how wonderful, he or she has good karma, they have accumulated good merits, how wonderful. I too wish that it benefits so many beings. I too wish he can do more, he can continue to do more for the benefit of others, and I really deeply rejoices. So if you make rejoicement, if you know how to do rejoicement in others' good deed, then it will also benefit you, instead of getting jealous. And patience. If someone is practicing patience, being patient with the different situations, handling different situations, and because practicing patience is very hard thing to do. So if someone is having good patience of different situations, especially difficult situations, then you praise them, or you really rejoice them, because they are doing the hardest part of the Dharma practice, that is the practice of patience. Because we as individuals, we are overpowered by our negative afflictions and emotions. We have pride, arrogance, jealousy. So someone is being patient, that means that he or she is controlling his mind or her mind, trying to see the natural state, trying to be in middle. That is why he or she is being patient. So to stop from developing quarrel and dispute and so forth, which are not healthy for anyone. So if you see someone is being patient, someone's being so patientful, nice and gentle, then you rejoice them, and you also make aspirations that you too can practice patience in the future. Then the sixth one that is mentioned here is having patience when others look down on you. See, right away. So when you see someone being patient, you rejoice, and it will give you an inspiration, and you also in the future you can be patient as well. As for now, if you are impatient, if you cannot control your anger, then no problem. You just make a wish. and also think that, oh, being patient is better than being impatient. Situation, you can directly witness the situation there. When you are impatient, you are breathing fast, your heart beating faster, you're sweating, you can't really see the things clearly, and there's a headache. There's not so joyfulness there, there's not any gentleness there. But when you are patient, it's like nothing is moving you. You're gentle, you're calm, you just listen, take the situation as it is, just listen what they are saying, you don't pay attention towards their insulting words, but you're just being mindful of the situation and recollecting, oh, if I lose my temper here, this will destroy all of us here, so this is not good. So it's better I remain silent and I remain in the state of meditation. This is how we can restrain our mind from getting angry. And if your practice is much better than that, you can see this, you can hear this sound as the empty sound, or empty nature of sound. These sounds really do not exist as they appear to be. These are just an empty sound. As long as I don't have any reaction towards their sound is valueless. You are giving them powerful if you react. If you take their speech seriously, then that speech has a value that can hurt you. But if you do not, if you take other speech very lightly, like nothing happened, then they don't have any value. That speech is just like empty words. So this kind of thing you can recall whenever possible will be very beneficial. So when you're patient, you're gentle, you're breathing normally, no headache, no shaking your bodies, no high tempers involved. So you're more peaceful, gentle. And this is better than being impatient and shaking your body and sweating and breathing fast. So here it encourages us to have patience when others look down on you, even though it is not your fault. But if you can remain patient, that's best for all. That is what is encouraged here. Trying to practice patience, and we'll talk more about this in the next chapter, when the chapter of patience, which is the next chapter, in fact. Then the seventh is dedicating virtues towards enlightenment and saying aspirations, prayers. So whatever you do, good things, obviously, dharma things, accumulating of merits, you dedicate the merits for the benefit of all sentient beings at the end, and make good aspirations. You dedicate this merit for the well-being of others. So it is like if you share this dharma or these merits, towards all sentient beings, then it will remain as long as sentient being remains. Remember the example? If you pour a drop of water into ocean, that water will remain as long as ocean remains. So it is better to drop that water into oceans than keeping in your cup, because if you keep that drop of water in your cup, it will disappear, it will dry up in few hours. So likewise, if you keep your dharma just for yourself, then there's a danger, when it is not certain, there's no certainty that you may get angry again, and then you will destroy your dharma. You may destroy your virtuous act. So if you share with others, then that's not yours. You have shared or given to others, and that will remain there. So practicing dedication or dedicating virtues towards enlightenment, saying that may this merit be the cause for the enlightenment of all sentient beings. Just by offering one, as I mentioned in the previous sessions, just by offering $1, its act is very small, but making good wishes and dedicating merits for the enlightenment of others. That will have much value, that is how you can increase your small virtuous act through that kind of aspiration, through that kind of dedication. Then the 8th one is making offerings to the triple gem and making effort for the virtuous teachings. And obviously we always pray to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. We always make good wishes that may Buddha remain in the samsara, and may he teach for the benefit of others, and may his followers remain to sustain or preserve these teachings, these wonderful aspirations, the wonderful instructions. And while thinking the kindness of the Buddha, we bow down, we make offerings, we light incense and lamps. This is to recall the kindness of the Buddha. And in the faith, there are 3 different faiths that one can generate towards Buddha, Dharma and Sangha by just wishing yourself to be like that, longing faith, by seeing their qualities and respecting their qualities, by remembering their kindness of sharing the Dharma. Because of their kindness, many sentient beings are able to liberate themselves from the suffering of samsara. Okay, so this is all the wonderful things that we can do, and also making efforts for the various teachings. Whenever there's a guru, you make time, you travel. Whenever there's guru teaching Dharma, if you try to make your schedule and go there and listen to these wonderful teachings. You need to make effort of listening to these wonderful teachings, because these are wonderful and beneficial. The 9th one is sustaining introspection, meaning being carefulness, being heedfulness of our body, speech and mind. When you walk, being careful that you will not step any insects under your foot. Also being careful what kind of speech you are using, and also being careful with your mind, what kind of thoughts are you are giving rise to, what kind of thoughts are in your mind. So these are very good for you to practice carefulness. This is mentioned in Bodhisattva's Charavatara, this particular chapter of this too, how we can be carefulness of our body, speech and mind, our conduct. This is, if you are not careful, you may make lots of mistakes. You may involve in many different types of non-virtuous acts, which are the source of suffering, which are the cause of suffering for others and yourself too. So if you be careful, the more you are careful, the less mistakes you make. That's logical, isn't it? So likewise here in the practice of the Dharma, same thing. The more you're being careful, the less faults you make. Then next one is recollecting the Bodhisattva's training. And obviously our activity, our responsibility is to recollect Bodhisattva's training, remembering the Bodhisattva's training and applying them. Train in Bodhisattva's trainings. There are 6 paramitas. Just not living there after hearing the 6 paramitas, but really trying to understand more about it, really trying to understand whether they are relevant to you, relevant to this world or not. And then you're practicing them in your day-to-day life, being practical of these teachings. Don't leaving Dharma teachings in the Dharma center, and it should also go to your house. Dharma teachings should go with you. Dharma teachings should remember, this Bodhisattva training should remember in your body, in your speech, in your mind. It should go along with you after Dharma center to your house, and share this within your family. Being nice, being kind, being gentle, practicing patience, being generous. So how wonderful it will be you go to Dharma center, you hear these wonderful teachings from your teachers or lamas or rinpoche, and you apply them, you contemplate on these meanings and you apply them into your day-to-day life. You bring Dharma, into your body, speech and mind, and you bring Dharma with you from Dharma center and go to your house, and share this wonderful with your family. Not deliberately sharing, but showing them with your body, your speech, your mind. From your body, you're being supportive, you're being helpful, you're being generous. By speech, you are respecting them, you're speaking very proper words, respectful words, gentle words, instead of shouting, and quarreling, complaining. So if you are able to bring Dharma through your speech, and if you are able to bring Dharma through your mind, being concerned for your family, kind and loving kindness and compassion to us, showing loving kindness and compassion to us, your family, rejoicing in their success, how to make your environment, family environment, happiness. If someone's sick in your family, you're trying to show your kindness and concern, trying to bring them to medicines, bring them to hospitals, take care of them, feed them, clothe them. So this is Dharma in your body, speech and mind. And if you're able to show this Dharma through your body, speech and mind within your families, how wonderful that will be. I'm sure there won't be any quarreling, complaining and so forth. They will also love you. They will see changes in you, and they will also respect you. And if your family members are non-Buddhist, they will also feel respect to what you are learning from that Dharma center, and they will also follow you, and it will be more easy to practice Dharma. Because I remember there are some individuals, whose half of those family are non-Buddhist, half of them are Buddhist, half of them are do not believe in any religions. But Buddhism is not religion; it's the way of life. How we can talk, how we can think, how we can act. So this is what we should be encouraging here, recollecting Bodhisattva's trainings into our day-to-day life. Try to bring Bodhisattva's training into our body, speech and mind. Okay? We are saying we need to benefit all sentient beings, but if you can't benefit your own family members, then how can we benefit all sentient beings? Isn't it? So we need to start from ourselves, our family members, our groups, our friends. Then we can expand that for others being as well. This is how we grow. Okay? Then next, the 11th is the protecting the Bodhisattva's training with vigilant awareness. So that means, being very alert. What am I thinking? Is there kind of stinginess taking place in the mind? Is there aversion taking in my mind? Is there jealousy taking place in my mind? You're being very alert, vigilant alert or awareness. Putting high alert from involving in non-virtuous act or negative afflictions and emotions. If you see them coming, just don't let them come in. Don't let them ruin your life, ruin your family, ruin your body, speech and mind, ruin your peace of mind. If you're able to do so, that will be so wonderful. I'm sure, because these are wonderful instructions. This can really heal our sufferings, cause of sufferings. So therefore, having high alert from negative afflictions and emotions. So that's what is advised here. Remaining, protecting Bodhisattva's training with vigilant alert or awareness. Then the 12th is protecting all the sense doors and moderately eating food. Protecting all sense doors means our eye, ear, nose, tongue. Protecting them means, trying to avoid from involving into non-virtuous act. Try not to see the fault of others. Try not to hear the fault of others. Try not to smell the faults of others. Likewise, you're trying to protect all these sense doors from negative afflictions and emotions, from shortcomings and wrongdoings. and trying to maintain, peace, trying to maintain calm, abiding state of mind. This is what we do when you do meditation, right? We close down all the sense doors and we just focus on mind. That's why we remain peace. We utilize 7 postures of Beruchana, and we do not, look here and there, but we remain calm, and our eyes should follow towards our nose, down to earth before you. That is what it means by trying to, protecting all your sense doors and trying to maintain in the stability of mind. That is how it can free you from the distractions, free you from, recalling what happened the other day, what will happen the next day, all these different thoughts. You can be free from these different thoughts, and you can maintain in the peaceful state of mind. You can remain in very present, and you can go beyond this sensual objects. You can go within yourself. You can try to see what you really are. You can be closer to your Buddha nature. You can be closer to this primordial wisdom. That is what we should be, doing in your practice of meditation. And moderately eating food. So when you eat food or do whatever, post-meditation activities, with mindfulness, with carefulness. So how you should eat, next in the next page, GAMPOPA will mention the way how you can eat. It will teach you how you look at the beings, how you act, how you walk, how you eat, how you sleep. These wonderful teachings from Bodhisattva Avatara. And the next is the 13th, making effort in meditation practice without sleeping too early in the evening and too late in the morning. We have habit of, sleeping too late and waking up too early. Waking up too late and sleeping too early in the evening and too late in the morning. Well, now this is different. People sleep very late and wake up very late too. In the practice of the Dhamma, it should advise, we us to wake early in the morning so that our minds are fresh. We can concentrate better. And that's why in the monasteries or during our retreat, we have a very early schedule, and it has a meaning behind it. So making effort in the meditation practice without sleeping too early means we also focus on meditation, little late, when things are a little calm, when there's not much going on, because many people are sleeping. So it will also help you to maintain your peacefulness. And also, too late in the morning. So if you sleep too late in the morning, then you are losing the morning activities. You may miss morning prayers, and as I mentioned earlier, in the morning your mind are very sharp. Since you have enough sleep, you are more relaxed. So when your minds are sharp, it's better to practice the Dhamma, or if you are memorizing some words of the Buddha or sutras or some aspiration prayers, it is always advisable to do it in the early morning, because that time it will easier for us to remember, to memorize these teachings. Or even it is meditation, if you meditate in the early morning, it is always better, more stable. So that is why it is encouraged here. 13th, attending spiritual masters and authentically holy people. So whenever if you hear about some spiritual masters coming into your town, you just, if you have time, don't hesitate visiting those teachers. They will be giving you good instructions, meditation instructions, Dhamma instructions. So these are very kind of rare, nowadays, to find authentic and good spiritual masters. So when they are coming in your place, or when you heard about some spiritual masters giving teachings, then you don't hesitate visiting them and paying homage to them and listening the Dharma from them. Then 14, the last one is investigating your own mistakes and purifying them. So this is very important. What we usually do is we don't recall our mistakes. We don't proclaim our mistakes. We don't, accept our mistakes. We have always the reason. Whatever happens, we will always have a reason to point our fingers to others. Because of him, because of her, because of that situation, because of this situation. But we don't ever, look within us. So that is what is lacking here. If you're able to see your mistake, then you can change. If you can't see your mistake, if you don't accept your mistakes, then it will go on. You cannot change yourself. You cannot transform yourself. So how we can change ourselves is through knowing our mistakes and purifying them. And that way how we can go forward. Obviously, things goes wrong or things goes miserable, things do not go according to our wish. Obviously, there may be many different reasons, but one of the reasons is ourselves. Because of being ourselves there, because of producing this idea, and because of having these skandhas, these 5 aggregates, you being yourself in the samsara is already a big mistake actually. Because of our ignorance, we come back to our samsara again and again. Because of our creations of non-virtuous act, karma, that's why we are experiencing this substance. That's according to Buddha. Your very being in this samsara is already a mistake. So we need to free ourselves from, the delusion of ignorance. We need to free ourselves from these different afflictions and emotions. Then we don't have to come to samsara, overpowered by these different afflictions and emotions. Then instead we can come to this samsara with our own power, with our own kind of authenticity, with our own wish. That way you want to be born, you have the choices. Like bodhisattvas, when they come to this world to benefit other sentient beings, they have choices. They can come, they can take birth in which different realms, So we need to, obviously, if you put effort, if you practice Dharma genuinely, with full determination, we'll be able to realize these realizations of bodhisattva's level. So we need to, have this courage to see our mistakes and accept our mistakes and change them and purify them. This is usually people do not do this. Usually people always point out. But they always forget that you being there is also one of the reasons why. If someone's shouting at you, if you are not there, then they don't have any target to shout at you. By being you there is already one of the reasons why. Now obviously there may be multiple reasons behind it, but you being there already is one good reason why things are happening. Likewise, when you see, I have some fault, shortcomings in my sustaining of bodhicitta's activity or trainings, then you recall them and you purify them and you become better and better, isn't it? They're saying once you fall down, you should wake up again. If you fall down, and if you are discouraged and if you're just lying down there, will not help you. Falling down is a good lesson to wake up and do again. So likewise, we as an individual, ordinary being, obviously we are overpowered by negative afflictions and emotions, so we cannot control our mind. But with these beautiful instructions, applying these remedies, these trainings, definitely you will be able to defeat all these negative afflictions and emotions. Now they are overpowering you. Next time you can overpower them. That is why Buddhas are called Buddhas, the one who is victorious over their negative afflictions and emotions, the victorious one. Okay, so these 14 trainings we should apply in order to practice the second type of moral ethic, that is known as the moral ethic of accumulating virtues. In this way, practicing these good qualities, protecting these good qualities and increasing these good qualities are called the moral ethic of accumulating virtues. So these 14 different types of training, if you practice them, if you protect them, and if you increase them, then you will be witnessing all the beneficial effects of it, and that will be called accumulations of virtuous act, the second type of moral ethic. So we all can do this. Definitely we can do this. Both Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and holy religious masters has done this. They have went this same path. They have gone through this same path. Because of going through this same path, they are witnessing this beautiful result. They are enjoying this beautiful result of enlightenment. So we should also encourage ourselves in the trainings of this moral ethic of accumulating virtues. Okay. Now the third type of moral ethic is the moral ethic or the morality of benefiting sentient beings. So what is this then? The characteristic of moral ethic of benefiting sentient beings is, briefly, there are 11 topics to know. So if you are practicing these 11 topics, then you are benefiting sentient beings. So what are these 11 topics here? There may be thousands of them, but briefly, there are 11 topics that is mentioned here by GAMPOPA. What are they? Bodhisattva Bhumi says, the first one, supporting meaningful activities, charity activities, religious activities, or any activity that is involved of benefiting others, that has no any considerations of their name and fame and wealth. Those are activities, those are pure motivated benefiting others. Then you should not hesitate of supporting them. This one thing. Dispelling the suffering of those sentient beings who are suffering. Obviously, we as a bodhisattva or practicing ongoing bodhisattva, we wish to see others happy. We wish to see others free from suffering. So if there's anything that you can do to dispel the suffering of others, we need to do it right away. Even it is just feeding a plate of food to those who are hungry. You should not hesitate. That's what you should be doing. No hesitation. Third, showing the methods to those who do not know them. Showing the methods how to, practice Dharma, how to practice generosity, how to practice moral ethics, how to maintain their good conduct, how to maintain those beautiful instructions, how to maintain those different type of trainings. If someone do not know how to do so, you should teach them. If someone is under ignorance, of not knowing what to do and what not to do, what is good to do, what is not good to do, you should teach them. These are good qualities, good conducts of body, speech, and mind, and that these are not good conduct of body, speech, and mind. You should avoid. Teach them this should be discarded, need to be discarded, and that those should be adapted or accepted. So showing the methods of those who do not know. Either it is worldly method or worldly activity or dharmic activity, you should not hesitate of showing whatever skill you have, whatever knowledge you have, to enlighten them, to support them. Number 4, recollecting others' kindness and repaying them or repaying it. So if someone is being nice to you, if someone has helped you out of their compassion without any expectation, you should rejoice those. You should really feel, you should really recollect their kindness. You should always remember their kindness. And if there's any chances in the future to repay their kindness, do it so. Even though that particular being do not expect anything in back, but from your side, you should not hesitate. If you're able to do so, if someone has done something good to you when you are in need of help, you remember this. And then in the future, if there's any possibilities that you can do something back, for them, even though they do not expect, from our side, we should not hesitate, because we also need to accumulate good merits. We also need to practice these trainings, remember? So it's not that, oh, he has done his part and I'll not do my part. It's not like that. We all, as a whole, we are all, practitioners, Dharma practitioners. So we always need sentient beings to benefit. We always need, to accumulate merits. And if there's no sentient beings, how can you accumulate merit? How can you benefit others if there's no sentient being? And especially in this case, if someone has done something good to you, even though they do not expect in return, you should not hesitate giving them hand. You do your part. He has done his part. He has accumulated good merits. That's good for him. But from your side also, you need to accumulate merits. So this is how you repay their kindness. Or not necessarily to them, but if someone has, practiced giving wealth to you when you are really in need of help, and in the future when you have accumulated good wealth, then do the same to those who are in need of help. Take the previous friend of you who has benefited you, take him or her as a role model, inspiration. Then you act when you are able. When you have more wealth in the future, you do the same thing to those who are in need of help. So this is how you pass down Dharma. And at the same time, you are also accumulating merits. This is a wonderful thing to do. We should be, inspirations for others. Then next, fifth one is protecting others from fears and dispelling the mourning of those who are suffering. That's like giving the fearlessness kind of paramita, first paramita of dana paramita, protecting, giving protection to others, protecting others from fear and dispelling their sufferings by giving medicines or by giving protection, by giving educations, whatever means are there available, and wherever you are possible, whatever is matching with your capacity, then you do it. Just don't be discouraged that something that you cannot do and you want to do and you're discouraged and you're crying there. Doesn't really help. Whatever, be practical. Whatever there's possibilities, you do it. And when you cannot do it, just make aspiration. That's it. Instead of worrying and complaining yourself and discouraging yourself and crying yourself, and these are not so skillful means. We should whatever we can. Be practical. You can do anything according to your capacity. You do it. If you can't, no problem. Someone's doing more than you, rejoice them and make aspirations that in the future you may also do the same. And then the sixth one is giving necessities to those who do not have them. Anything, necessities, daily necessities, food, clothing, shelter, medicine, whatever, dharma, or at least time. Your time is very precious, isn't it? Our times are very precious to us, but you share your time to others just by being there, just by listening their sorrows, just by showing them your compassionate smile and looking them with your compassionate eye, listening their words with your compassionate ears. So this all the necessities someone may need, you provide them. Then the seventh is making provisions to bring disciples to the Dharma community and acting according to those people's level of understanding. So those who do not know the right path, you show them the right path, you bring them to Dharma teachers, you bring them to Dharma centers, and then request teachers to introduce them to Dharma. And teacher will you also as a senior Dharma practitioner, you can introduce Dharma to them, but with matching with their level of understanding. Don't preach emptiness right away. They will be terrified and they will not come back to Dharma centers again. Okay, so we need to know how to teach the Dharma, how to share the Dharma knowledge to them. We need to preach according to their level of understanding. Then the eighth one is creating joy by reporting the perfect qualities of others, like proclaiming the good qualities of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or religious masters, or the one who is practicing compassion, those beautiful pure charity works, who are involved, volunteers, you cherish them, you proclaim their good qualities, so it will plant good seed to another individual who are new to it, and they will be also able to participate in this beautiful trainings of paramita, the dana paramita. And the next 9th is properly correcting someone who is doing wrong. So if you see someone's doing wrong, someone's thinking wrong, someone's speaking wrong, someone's acting wrong, be humble and be positive to help them, instead of complaining them, instead of shouting them, instead of proclaiming their mistakes in front of others. You humbly, with pure motivation, try to correct them, try to change them, try to give them good instructions, so then they can also they do not repeat these mistakes in the future, in a very gentle way, in a very natural way, not just showing off, not just insulting them of their mistakes. This will not help. This will bring another kind of dispute, another kind of mistrust and all. So instead of doing so, be very natural, be very compassionate, and as a friendly conversation, you can train them, you can change their attitude, you can bring them into the right path, and they will not repeat these mistakes again. So we should not hesitate of showing the right path, correcting the mistakes of others, like teachers do in the classroom. Teachers always correct students' mistakes out of compassion, out of not out wanting that students should know the right thing. And then the 10th is the refraining from creating fear with miracle powers. So if you are practitioner, then if you have some realizations, in order to benefit sentient beings, sometimes they utilize miracle powers, right? Because individuals, normal individuals, ordinary individuals do really like magical things, So bodhisattvas first, show them magic, so they are delighted, and then only they teach them the dharma later on. To first show them magic to bring their attentions, like we have advertisement in televisions, of anything. A little bit of advertisement, so to bring their attention, then only you go on the main part. Likewise, bodhisattvas also do the same thing, but sometimes if you show the miracle powers are different. Sometimes they may terrify other people, so you should be very careful, because your very wish is to bring sentient beings out of suffering. So if you are terrifying them, that's not matching with your purpose. So therefore, you should also have the discriminating knowledge, what kind of magical power to display and what kind of magical power not to display, matching with the level of individuals, So for now, we don't need to worry, we don't have this kind of realization yet. But if you are, this is talking about benefiting sentient beings. So in order to benefit sentient beings, we need to sometimes display miracle powers, but you should be careful when to and how to, what to. And finally, the 11th is causing others to be inspired by the teachings. Yes, you teach them beautiful teachings of the Buddha, you apply them, you act them nicely, just like I mentioned earlier. Bring Dharma from Dharma center within yourself into your body, speech, mind, and bring to your house and help them, display them. By your attitude, they will know. But by your good performance of body, speech, and mind, they will be inspired. So this is what is encouraged here, causing others to be inspired by teachings. Not by just speaking, or telling, but by showing them Dharma through your body, speech, and mind. This is how you connect them. This is how you can bring them into enlightenment. This is the first step. Okay. So we'll stop here for today, and we'll continue to learn more about moral ethics of benefiting sentient beings in the next session. Thank you very much for listening. We shall dedicate the good merits for the benefit of all sentient beings. sonam de tamje zegba nye topne nge be danam pamje ne ke ga na je balav do ba yi sibe zo le ndo wa ra sho